What's going on, guys? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Niners News here on 49ers Hive. My name is Zach Hernandez, and as always, I am joined by my co-host, Matt Llewellyn. And today we're going to be discussing what's going on with the 49ers and Mac Jones and all of the noise with the beat writers. Matt, as soon as the trade went down Friday, you had guys like Mayoko, Barrows, Chris Sims, all the likes of 49ers beat writers coming out saying, oh, it's got to be for Mac Jones. Make it make sense. What's going on here?
Well, I mean, as you saw in the live show that we had on Saturday, this was one of my, Matt rants kind of thing. I won't get as hot as I got on the live show, but this absolutely makes no sense to me. This is something where, again, and Scott and I talked about it on the live show too, that, what is a Kyle Shanahan type quarterback? And, why do people automatically assume that Mac Jones is a Kyle Shanahan type quarterback? Is it because he reminds you of Kirk Cousins? Is it because he's allegedly not very mobile? Which, I mean, to his credit, Mac Jones is actually a decent athlete, dad bod notwithstanding. Is it because he, is smooth in the pocket? Is it because he has some accuracy? I mean, it just depends, but all I'm going to say about that is these guys, these beat writers, Mayoko, Sims, some others, even Chris Mortensen, who kind of chimed in on this, is kind of, and I think Michael Silver too was in on this. I think he said this on Pat McAfee's show, if I'm not mistaken, is that these guys didn't hear anything for weeks, because according to Schefter, the 49ers were trying to trade into the top 5 for weeks. They didn't hear anything, and now all of a sudden, each and every one of them just knows that Kyle Shanahan likes Mac Jones, and Kyle Shanahan is going to go after Mac Jones. Like, holy shit, dude!
Can you hear it? It's a plane right over me.
That was loud. All right, let's go. Let's go back to 3, 2, 1.
All right.
Okay. Count me down.
3, 2, 1.
So Sims, Mayoko, Silver, who was on Pat McAfee's show, for weeks, the 49ers, according to Adam Schefter, were trying to trade up into the top 5 to get one of these quarterbacks. And they didn't hear anything about it. There were no leaks that the 49ers were trying to trade up. There was the general, the 49ers, if they're going to go quarterback, but everybody's mock draft had like J.C. Horn or Caleb Farley or something like that going to the 49ers at 12. All these beat writers, the guys that are essentially plugged in, Chris Sims, who is Kyle Shanahan's college friend, college teammate, right? They all just know now, after not having any inkling, not having any wherewithal that they were going to make this trade. Now they just know that Mac Jones is the Kyle Shanahan guy. And I just asked myself, why? Why do you think that? Why would the 49ers trade the draft capital that they traded to get up to number 3 to draft Mac damn Jones? I'm not going to say what I want to say, but it makes no sense to me. This Mac Jones is a guy who was projected in the mid to late first, and that's after having that run with Alabama. Did nobody watch Tua Tagovailoa last year? I mean, when are we or AJ McCarron? At what point do you realize Alabama quarterbacks are a product of Nick Saban's system and the fact that they have ridiculous talent? I mean, you're talking about Jalen Waddle, who is projected to be, a high pick. And that's not even, Jalen Waddle's good enough. Now we're talking about Heisman Trophy winner Devontae Smith. So you have 2 wide receivers that are first-round talents. Now you're talking about the best college offensive line in college football with his line. You're talking about a potential first-round running back who's been mocked all over the place to Miami at number 18, Najee Harris. And you're telling me that Mac Jones is the guy? I watched 3 throws at his pro day and wanted to throw up because they were not good throws. You're going to trade up for the guy with the least speed, the least arm talent, the least height, the least athleticism. For what? It makes no sense. And it really bothers me that these beat writers are trying to make their money. What they're doing is they're taking a look at it and saying, what can I say a month before the draft where if I get it right, I can point back to it and be like, ooh, look what I did. You heard it here first, folks. Durr. We know who does that. We've all seen it, right? And if it doesn't, then they go, oh, well, things change. Oh, that was then, but, whatever. Like, for example, if they take Justin Fields, well, Justin Fields' pro day hasn't happened yet. So all they have to do is say, oh, well, they hadn't seen Justin Fields at his pro day, and the pro day was what put it over the top. It's clickbait, and people are buying into it, and people are upset about it. And the entirety of 49ers Twitter is like, I don't know if I want that to happen. Some of the guys that we respect at the Draft Network, other guys are calling this out and being like, yeah, they're not taking Mac Jones at 3. Sage Rosenfels, who worked with Kyle Shanahan at the QB Collective, it's like he's not taking Mac Jones at 3. Now all of a sudden, each and every one of you thinks that Kyle Shanahan's going to take Mac Jones at number 3. Why? Because you think he's a Kyle Shanahan guy? What does that even mean? Because he looks like Kirk Cousins? I mean, it baffles me that people think this, and it's absolutely irresponsible. What they're doing is they're putting out a narrative in the end of March, beginning of April. Oh, Mac Jones is the guy, right? And so if they hit on it, they can look back and be like, you heard it here first. Oh, we called it. And they get those points, right, with the fan base. Oh, they knew. They absolutely knew. And so for me, like, I look at it and I'm thinking, they're probably going to take Justin Fields because of the connection between Shanahan and, I mean, there's rumors that he's working out with Kyle Shanahan right now. I don't know if that's against the rules or not. And I don't even know if it's true, but where there's smoke, there's fire, because we heard 18,000 reports about Jimmy being gone. And so to me, this is smacks of just trying to be first rather than being right. And it bothers me. It really does.
No, it is. And I really don't. I understand how you laid it out there. If it happens, they say, look, I said this first, I got it right. But at the same time, it's like you're putting out some pretty idiotic takes, with all due respect. And even guys like Chris Sims, I respect Chris Sims' knowledge and his football, especially his football IQ. The tweet that basically started it all was Kyle Shanahan trying to take control of his own fate. You trade up to 3 for a quarterback who is NFL ready right now, not a project. And to me, that says Mac Jones. I just don't know how you see Mac Jones and say this guy can start right now and make every throw in Kyle Shanahan's offense. No, yeah. I really don't think so.
I don't think so either. And we've seen a quarterback that, is limited in what he can do already. And Dane Brugler, who we talked about before, kind of broke this down. Kyle Shanahan likes to run boots off of play action throws, right? Mac Jones was not good at that at Alabama. I think he was 12 for 21, a low passer rating, like just not very good at it, right? He wanted to sit behind that really hefty Alabama offensive line. He didn't want to get out on the edge and, try to make some things happen. Nobody really respected his running ability, even though he, again, like I said, he is a decent athlete, but that's not what he's there for, right? Everybody's worried about Waddle and Smith and Najee Harris coming out of the backfield, to the point that they weren't that worried about if Mac Jones was going to take off. And I think that if you're already going into it with, again, a quarterback who just go, okay, everybody just go and watch the pro day of every other quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, Trey Lance, and then throw on Mac Jones. And then you tell me that Mac Jones is going number 3. And I know pro days don't really matter. You're looking at college tape, but you really have to look at it from a perspective of you don't know what you're getting in the tape with Mac Jones. Michael Silver talked about watching tape in pressure situations, right, where everything wasn't working and seeing how he does. But beyond that, all we have to compare them, just at least just with zip on the ball, is going to be the pro days. I mean, you should have your best throwing sessions, right, with pro days, and that should be a showcase for your actual arm talent. And it's just readily apparent that he doesn't spin it as well as those other guys. So the other thing that I find rich too, by the way, is that Chris Sims tweeted this out, right? He's NFL ready. He can start right now. Right after Adam Schefter was like, they traded to number 3, but they're not getting rid of Jimmy Garoppolo. Both things can't be true. So either they're keeping Jimmy for a little bit, and in which case Mac Jones is not going to start anyway, right? Or they're taking Mac Jones and they're going to trade Jimmy Garoppolo, which doesn't really make that much sense that you trade up all that way for 3. So it's like you can't have it both ways. Besides the fact that Kyle Shanahan's offense is always talked about as being complicated to learn, so a rookie would need time anyway. And without another veteran quarterback to come in that already knows the system, then why wouldn't you keep Jimmy at least for half a year until you can move him at the trading deadline, hopefully for the rookie to be ready to go? Because when Jimmy got traded here, he sat for what, a month?
Yep.
And then got in. So why would that be any different from again, if you pick the right rookie to get in there and go do that. So this stuff makes no sense to me. Again, like I said, this is a tamed down version of my rant that we talked about on the live show, but it's just baffling that this whole they're going to draft Mac Jones at 3 movement. I mean, and you said it before, and I'm with it. It's just like this is almost like drafting a defensive end, right? If they take Mac Jones, my fandom will be in question because it's such a bad move, right? Yeah. It's just going to be like, I'm going to be so harsh and critical of Lynch and Shanahan until they're gone or until they win a Super Bowl if they draft Mac Jones. There's no reason for it. There's no reason for these beat writers to want to talk about it in that kind of respect as if it's actually a realistic thing of happening. I don't understand. The only thing that I can think is that, I don't know, maybe the Jets are going to go somewhere else, or they want, I don't know. I honestly, it's so puzzling to me. It's so puzzling to me. It makes no sense.
Yeah, it's tough. And Daniel Jeremiah of NFL Network basically said the same thing, that he was told not to rule out Mac Jones at 3. Would it be this is a quote, would it be a shock? Yes. If the 49ers parted with multiple first-round picks to move up and take Mac Jones in the top 5, that would shock me. I would not see that coming. But again, there's people inside the league that are pretty well connected on this stuff who just alerted me to look out for it. So I'm not ruling it out.
Yeah, but dude, that's typical draft season smoke show stuff though, right?
Yeah, it is. I mean, just like they said, they're right. Not going to necessarily take a quarterback like Adam Schefter tweeted out, right?
Yeah.
Sure, Adam, sure.
Right. Or Jimmy Garoppolo is still in their plans. I mean, for this year, but
plans to
definitely take it. Yeah. But yeah, and that's the thing. It's just like this is the draft smoke screen. I'm not saying that it can't happen. I'm not going to say they're definitely not drafting Mac Jones, because I don't think anybody in, what was it, 2017 or 2018 or whatever year it was, I don't think anybody saw that Baker Mayfield was going to go over Sam Darnold. I think everybody was like, Sam Darnold's like the number 1 guy, right? So yeah, it remains to be seen what's going to happen, but I will tell you, it'll be an interesting draft night if they go Mac Jones at 3. I'll tell you all that much. So tune in for that, because if it happens, oh boy, we might get banned on all socials. It might be the end of 49ers Hive.
Yeah, and real quick, you mentioned the Draft Network. He put out a mock draft, and he had Trey Lance, and Stewart of 49ers Hive asked him why Lance over Fields, and he said this is based off some hints signed from yesterday. Maybe something to keep an eye on. But there's still weeks until we get there, so a lot can happen between now and then. So
yeah.
But I think that's going to do it for this video, guys. If you like what you see, do us a solid. Hit that subscribe button below. Help us reach our goal of 2,000 subscribers. Like this video and drop a comment below. How mad would you be if the 49ers traded all that capital, move up to 3, just to take Mac Jones?
Go ahead and click the bell for notifications so you never miss another new video, at least until we have our meltdown and get kicked off of YouTube. Until next time, go Niners.